Now, the question is, why is the marketing team interested in how their invoices are delivered? They were looking for another way to get a competitive advantage. And so they had a customer retention program of like, how do we make the customers want to use us? They switched to e-invoicing, which then made it easier for the customers in the invoice process. And so that was a marketing activity that they did. And the finance team was also very happy at the same time.
Welcome to Season 5 of Manage Self, Lead Others with host Nina Sunday. This season, as well as workplace culture, we're going deeper into embedding innovation, AI, and invisible patterns shaping how we lead. Each episode, bold thinkers join us to explore how to lead with intention, elevate team culture, and stay future ready. The future of leadership starts with the questions we ask.
Robin Sands is the co-founder and CEO of Link4, an e-invoicing software company operating across multiple countries around the world: Singapore, Malaysia, UAE, Australia, New Zealand, coming up soon Thailand, the Philippines, and the USA solution. He's spent the past decade helping organisations use technology to improve efficiency, scale revenue, and build businesses that grow without burning out their people. Robin Sands served 4 years on the board of FinTech Australia, the peak industry body for companies innovating in banking, payments, and insurance. Welcome, Robin Sands.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
So e-invoicing is something I wasn't aware of until I came across your company, Link4. And although you're Australia-based, you're now growing exponentially around the world. You're in 5 countries and more. And I've just realised that probably the problem, before we even talk about what is e-invoicing, why e-invoice, what's the problem with fraud and just sending emails by invoices by email, which is what I still do and what a lot of companies still do. What's the problem there?
Yeah, no, that is common. That's the way people do things, or the way people have been doing things. But email is not safe. People can read your emails. Well, people are reading your emails all the time, but people can intercept them and change the information that's being sent. So commonly with an invoice, people will stop it, grab the PDF and change the bank details on it, put it back in, then send it on. So it looks like it's coming from you, it looks like your invoice, it just has different bank details on it. And that way the bad guys get paid then.
And I'm not going to ask you on this platform how they intercept, because I don't want to educate anybody, but I find that inexplicable. I'm used to phishing emails coming in, but I'm not used to, between the sender and the receiver, somebody finding that email and being able to manipulate it and then pass it on as if it had still come from me.
Yeah, and it's a lot more common than people think. And so often doing presentations like this to a live audience, if I'm talking to 6 people, 4 of them have heard about it or know someone who's affected, and 1 person has been physically affected. So it is kind of widespread. But often people that get affected don't like to talk about it. And so they don't want to admit it's happened to them.
That's right. It's embarrassing. And I recently, that's how I've been sending emails. It won't be from invoices, but it won't be anymore after this. I had a company that was paying me, because it was the first invoice from me, they rang to confirm my bank details. And I said, why it's there on the invoice? She said, well, and they had been defrauded.
And there you go. Yeah, it happens a lot.
So this is Australia, and I'm sure it happens all over the world. And that's why Link4 is one of those companies that, you're supported really by all the governments. I mean, in Australia, the Australian Tax Office thinks it's a great idea. Who supports this in the different companies that you operate in?
Yeah, fair point. So, and when you say Link4, we kind of say e-invoicing. So e-invoicing is spreading, and
Yes.
it's not our naming or our tool or anything, but we do support that. Now, there are countries like Australia that are mandating e-invoicing for various aspects. So it's mandated for government in Australia. They want to take the lead, so they have to do it. But there's other countries that are mandating it for every business. So we have many customers, say in Belgium, that have to do e-invoicing because that's the mandate from January the 1st, 2026.
Oh,
We've got customers in Malaysia that, they've got their mandates. So there's a lot of governments, actually more and more governments are switching to it and forcing their businesses to switch to it because it's better. There's a few reasons to do it, but one of them, it's better for the economy. So if you look at Australia, they go, if people get paid faster, they spend faster. In other words, a business is much healthier economically if they get paid quicker.
but
But
let's
if
add that
businesses,
little detail. How is it that e-invoicing makes us get paid faster?
yeah, and that's because it sort of smooths out the process. So e-invoicing, to make it short, is that the accounting systems talk together. So you create an invoice and you push send, and then it appears in the accounting system of your customer. So they could be using SAP, they could be using QuickBooks, you could be using Xero. They all talk together. We're that communication point between them to allow that to happen. And they can communicate different things backwards and forwards between them. And it means that process of sending an invoice happens much faster. It happens instantly. So that then allows the person on the other side to go, oh, this is easy, accept, done. And often it can get paid on the same day or within the same hour of it being received.
Well, except that I know some companies that pay invoices have this policy of we only pay 30 days. I mean, how do you bypass that policy?
Yes, I personally have an issue with anyone who does 30, 60, 90-day payment terms because that's like, way back
The
in the past.
century before last.
Industrial revolution type. So it's like there's no reason to have that in this day and age.
That's right.
And for me, like one of the examples is we talk about, when I was younger, we used to go to the video store on a Friday night to hire a movie to watch a VHS tape to watch a
That's
movie.
right.
Nobody goes to video stores anymore. Like we just stream it whenever we want to on our devices.
That's right.
E-invoicing is streaming the invoice. Like this is new technology that makes it happen fast and simple and keeps it easy for the end user.
So we're now streaming invoices. I like that.
It's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So we had one of our early adopters, which was a large company sending a lot of invoices to small business. They switched to e-invoicing, encouraged their users to, didn't say anything to them, like just started doing it, and their cash flow increased. They had a 50% improvement in on-time payments. They didn't ask for it, it just happened. So they were really happy. And then they were concerned that their customers were paying faster. Is that okay for them? So they hired a team to go and do a survey. The survey came back and said 82.5% of them loved it, happy to pay faster because it made their invoicing process much easier.
It reduced admin time, and that is a
Yeah.
cost saving. There's an opportunity cost in actually all this manual handling. So it's automation, and it's probably AI. There's there's a connection with AI. What is the connection with AI and e-invoicing?
Oh, look, there's more and more AI becoming involved, but just that aspect, if you've ever sent an invoice to someone and you go, I sent you that invoice and you're following up because they haven't paid and they, oh, I didn't get it. Like, could have gone into this junk mailbox or
Yes.
could have gone to someone on holidays or whatever.
Yeah.
With e-invoicing, it's been delivered to the right spot, but you
Right.
can also see where it's at in the process so that you can come back and go, yep, it's been opened, it's been read, it's been paid, or whatever is happening. The accounting systems get that information, so you spend less time following up, which makes it much easier.
Well, that's all sounding like a dream, really, Robin. The way we all should be moving now and finding ways to do in e-invoicing, and Link4, your company, is just one of many solutions to facilitate that. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. So it wouldn't work if there's just one company out there doing it. It's like a phone company, right? Everyone's
Yeah,
got their iPhones, cell phones, whatever.
that's right.
They sign up to different companies and they have different offers, but all of
Yeah,
those telecom providers work together to make it work. We're one of those providers for the e-invoicing network
yeah.
and we make it work. Now, the example I gave before of the large customer that was sending a lot of invoices out, they came to us, we started talking to them, we started getting them set up, and it took us a bit to work out that it wasn't the finance team that was approaching us, and it wasn't IT. It was actually the marketing team.
So it's interesting that you say that there's been a big take up by government
Yep.
because sometimes government is not necessarily an innovator. So why has government really taken the well, been a early adopter?
Yeah, it depends which country you talk about as to why the
Okay.
government are motivated. So let you pick a country like Malaysia that's mandating e-invoicing, and they
Yes.
want to get on top of the tax scenario and the black economy to make sure that everyone's held accountable. In
Right.
countries like Australia or New Zealand or Singapore, they're doing it so that they can make the businesses healthier, the economy healthier, cash flow faster, and so it's a positive thing for the economy of a country, a positive thing for the economy of a business.
And so you're actually also expanding into well, United Arab Emirates, UAE. Is
Yes.
that a special case? I mean, what's different there?
So we've been doing e-invoicing for 10 years, and we are an e-invoice company that's been built from the ground up. So that's all we do. What we look at then is, which country is culturally ready to accept e-invoicing.
Right.
And there's a lot of countries now have mandates for e-invoicing, and we will go to them. So UAE have this mandate that their large businesses have to choose an e-invoicing solution provider by July 2026. So then they have a pressure on them. It's like, oh, they need to do something. It's like, well, you know
Right.
what? We've got the solution. Let's go there. So
Mm.
we have set up an office there. We do have staff there. Now we don't need to set up offices in every country. So I spoke before, there's Belgium, there's Germany, France, Holland, Norway. We've got customers in all those places that we don't have a physical presence. But yeah, we've got offices and people in many countries through Asia, which is good.
Right. So if 50% of my listeners are based in North America, um,
Yes.
if if there was somebody that didn't want to wait till you actually had an official office in the USA or Canada, they could still consider working with you to assist with the setup, and also then you actually can sometimes act as the intermediary between their accounting system, whether it be well in Australia we have MYOB, Xero, QuickBooks. What are some biggies in the USA, for example?
Oh, the biggest one would be the biggest small one would be QuickBooks. So
Oh
in
yes,
2016, we made QuickBooks e-invoicing possible, and we work well with the Intuit team to make sure that that is looked after. But on the larger side, we talk about NetSuite, and we've got a built for NetSuite solution. We've got SAP, we've got Microsoft Dynamics, we've got some of these larger systems. We're agnostic, so we can do any of them. That doesn't matter.
mm,
When you look at the different countries, now we've been working with the USA for around about 6 years now, trying to help them with their standards and get everything organized because there are standards behind it to allow all the players to talk together.
yes.
And the USA have been looking at it for quite a while. It's just been a bit of a slow for the adoption part of it, but it is coming, and we're happy to support anyone who's ready to look at it for the North America market.
Right, right. So those who are early adopters, they'll probably have a competitive advantage in that when you get paid sooner, like I've heard you say, or I've seen written on your site, you can get paid like within 5 days instead of 30 days. Is that how common is that?
Look, it's very common in Australia. The government want to set the lead with the invoicing, so they're starting to do it themselves, and they have the policy there to pay within 5 days. Sometimes they
Right.
pay within 1 day or a few hours, but they don't like us talking about that. But the problem is, once it's all set up, it can happen quickly, and that's the
Right.
good thing about it. And so, any company that needs to have 60 or 90 days can actually really make their processes more efficient by having this set up.
So it is coming. But what's the risk of waiting another year to adopt it? Why, yeah.
What we've seen in some countries is there's a push to get e-invoicing, and then people rapidly go for whatever's available at the time, and then they find that there's a bottleneck. The e-invoicing providers are busy; they can't do the implementations and the testings. They don't get set up right, so that they do
Oh,
suffer some issues from that. But it's also that aspect of staff being trained and being aware of what's happening, or communications that need to go out. There's a lot more to it than just going, oh, let's switch it on, because it can be switched on quickly. Another issue that I've seen is like, the CEO will say to the finance team, get e-invoicing. And so they will set themselves up so they report everything to the government, but they don't set it up so they get business benefits.
I
And
see.
and it's like, for me, it's like, if you're going through the process, you might as well get the business benefits from it, not just sending a report to the government, which some countries, all they need is a report sent to the government. That's all they want. But
Yes.
aspect of sending an invoice between businesses makes both sides happy. It's a good thing.
Well, one, the learning curve means that you can spread it over time and get it done right. Number two, anybody listening to this who can see that if they set it, educate their suppliers, their contractors, their whoever they send invoices to, their clients, if they educate them that you're an early adopter of this new system that streamlines everything, it's going to make the corporate image so much elevated, more elevated. But you'll lose that advantage if you're if you're what they call a late majority.
A laggard.
Yeah,
Yes.
even worse, laggards. They don't do it at all.
Yes. No, but they're interesting. One of the countries we saw that there was this large company that got onto it early, and then they were used as the example, and they got like, I'm going to say, free advertising, because people kept speaking about, oh, this company does that, and they're doing amazing things here, and these guys were the first ones to do that. And it just really sort of showed their brand was moving forward, up with the latest, and doing the best thing for their customers.
so, so let's look ahead to 5 years. We're sort of coming to the end of our time, Robin, and I'll give you a chance to tell people how they can find you. But in 5 years' time, how widespread? Just predict, what will e-invoicing be expected? Will it be the what everybody, what 80% of businesses do in most of the companies in the world, countries in the world? Your thoughts?
Yes, it will be common, as common as laptops are in businesses these days. Like, it is the way of the future. Some governments are allowing their businesses to adopt it when they want to. Others are mandating it,
Yeah.
and others are really enforcing it. I mean, we've heard of stories coming out of South America of roadblocks happening to make sure that shipments from trucks actually have an e-invoice for their shipment and not a physical invoice. So the
Oh,
governments are getting serious about it, which is a good
right.
thing. It's kind of like a mandate to, have to wear a seatbelt or something, so that it's actually good for you, this kind of mandate they're
Yeah.
putting in place.
Well, I do know that in the USA they still send checks in the mail.
Yes.
Have you got a comment on that? I mean, Australia lost checks, I don't know, seven, eight,
Well,
9 years ago.
yeah, yeah. Well, so I lived in San Francisco for a while, and I had to get a check account so I could pay my rent, because they wouldn't accept cash and bank transfers and things. But there's always that hope that things will change in North America. But the aspect within business of using new technologies, lots of different new technologies are being used now. There are the adopters that are picking up on these types of things, and that can only make things better.
So, would you say that if a company wants to say that they embed innovation in their organisation as part of the culture, that e-invoicing is definitely something that they must have? It's a must do.
Absolutely. Look, they need to investigate it at the shortest side of things, but implementing it and having it set up, it's not a big deal to actually get it set up. They don't do anything different in that they use their current ERP system. They push the same button on there to send the invoice. It's just behind the scenes, a lot more happens, and that's why
Right.
it should be good for them.
And so the first step for any organisation would be to what?
Look, have a conversation with someone like Link4 and we can give you the advice. The
Hmm.
interesting thing about e-invoicing is that we know our competitors really well. We're all trying to build up the network, so we don't fight over things. In fact, we just try and educate people and help them to know what their situation is. So Link4, which is LINK number 4
Yeah.
.co, that's where we are. You can find us. We happily advise people in any country, all over the world, and we can tell you what's available in your country, what is coming, but also how your ERP system can connect to that network.
Mm. And that link will be in the show notes so they can find it. And Robin, you've got just before we close, you've got a pretty hefty financial background. I mean, you served as a board member of FinTech Australia, which is the peak industry body for banking and finance, things like that. So I just want to say that your background is robust when it comes to financial things. Do you want to comment on that?
And I loved my time with FinTech Australia because you got to see all of the new technologies coming through and you see what is possible. And I just love the openness for people accepting all these new technologies. And I think, happy to be a part of that. E-invoicing is a part of that in a sense because we deal with invoices and it's new technology. But some of that banking sector information and things coming through, our kids are growing up in a new world, and I think the future is looking very bright.
That seems to be the way of the future. Thank you so much, Robin Sands, for your time today and allowing us to go more deeply into invoicing so we can all improve our processes and get a little tick with customer loyalty.
Wonderful. Really enjoyed the chat, Nina. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. My guest today was Robin Sands from link4.co. That's LINK and the number 4. The link is in the show notes. My name is Nina Sunday, and this is the Manage Self Lead Others show. You can listen on all the major podcast apps and watch the video on Spotify and YouTube. And if you are enjoying the show, you can support it by leaving a 5-star review. On Apple Podcasts, just scroll past the episodes to ratings and reviews, tap the 5 stars, add a quick comment, and it's done. That simple act helps other leaders discover the show. Until next time, bye for now.
Manage Self, Lead Others has launched the book, available on Amazon, paperback, Kindle and audiobook. Not transcripts, but it's Nina Sunday's reflections on the big ideas and insights from each guest, and is adventure calling. If podcasting is the new white paper, then a travel retreat is the new corporate offsite. Short retreats in exotic locations are launching this year, so head to ninasunday.com to express your interest and be part of this learning meets travel chapter for leaders, people managers and entrepreneurs. Plus, looking for a conference speaker or workshop facilitator to up-level your team in Australia or anywhere in the world? Visit brainpowertraining.com.au or ninasunday.com. Until you tune in next time.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.